And like you said, I mean, I think, Iraqi people, honestly, I think Iraqi people and many American soldiers actually have more in common with each other because they're both, in a sense, prisoners of the situation. Because, I kind of fantasize about someone setting up a sort of Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad to siphon any soldiers that want to get out of there but just don't know how to get out. I mean, they can't go buy a plane ticket and get out of there. And I would imagine many of them might end up dead, might just end up shot if they try to, break rank and go against, stand down their orders. I mean, this is how it works in the military, and everybody knows that. And so you've got, the Iraqi people being very, perhaps rightfully so, very frustrated and angry with American soldiers, and likewise, then the Iraqis are retaliating, rightfully so, in a sense, right? And then the American soldiers are saying, we hate these people, we hate it here, and everybody's just set in this horrible, hot pan of frustration and acting out on each other, while the guys who orchestrated the whole thing are sitting in luxury somewhere, doing who knows what.
Exactly. This is a rich man's war, and as usually is the case, it's fought by poor people, and those poor people gain nothing from it. This is a war it's for corporate profit, essentially, whether it's the mercenary companies like Blackwater and DynCorp and Khaki, or it's oil companies. ExxonMobil has seen banner profits, or Dick Cheney's former company, Halliburton. They're not there anymore, but Bechtel was involved as well. These are the people who are making money. Oh, I forgot the defense contractors, Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. These people don't have to send their children overseas because they don't have to. That's not how they get money for college. They get a whole lot of taxpayer dollars and bonuses by perpetual continuing the war. But I do want to say, you bring up an excellent point, that there is resistance out there, and colleagues of mine who I've crossed paths with in our activism are veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan who are saying we're not gonna do this anymore, and they're calling for soldiers to in compliance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice to refuse illegal orders, which include orders for deployment. And more information on their work can be found at marchforward.org. They have witnessed firsthand what occupation means, and they know the horrors of what's happening on the ground. And I tell you, another thing is that those soldiers who cannot cope with what they've seen and perpetrated overseas are coming home and killing themselves.
Yes.
I've heard suicide rate.
Yeah, is higher than. Ahead. Well, yeah, I was just going to say, I'm sure what you're going to say, more of them are killing themselves than are actually being killed by enemy combatants.
Exactly. And that was apparently, though I never learned it in the history books when I was in high school, that was the same case for Vietnam as well. Because once the military is done with you, they're not going to give you your benefits. They want to save their money. They want somebody else to come take your place. And that's the myth in this country of sticking a yellow ribbon on the back of your vehicle and saying that's supporting the troops, while a quarter of the homeless on the street have served in the armed forces. It's extremely hypocritical what we're doing, but people out there, those active duty soldiers and Marines, need to know that they're not alone, and they need to. They're being used. We were all lied to. They were betrayed by their leadership, and really it was GI resistance was a big factor, one of the major factors in bringing an end to our presence in Vietnam. Of course, another major factor was the courageous resistance of the Vietnamese people. But it is a factor that plays its part, and frankly, if the soldiers refuse to be pawns of the government anymore, these occupations are over. And it's high time for that to happen. Bring the troops home, take care of them when they get here, and let's invest the billions of dollars that go to the corporations into rebuilding infrastructure in this country. The Ninth Ward in New Orleans is still devastated. There's so much to do here at home. Our economy needs jobs. Clearly, the solution to our own well-being and security is in stopping the killing of innocents overseas, bringing people back home, and moving forward on improving healthcare, education, you name it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard
it's
that.
Simple in my mind.
Yeah, in mine as well. I mean, I think we're all suffering under this false economy of scarcity, and it's time to shift to an economy of prosperity. And for me, I always give the example. You put a seed in the ground, and you get like thousands and thousands of seeds back. I mean, that's the economy of prosperity. And, these guys, they pay farmers not to grow food so that they can keep the prices up. That whole game, people are starving all over the world behind their little antics and their games, and we're all playing into it blindly, ignorantly. And it's time to unplug. I mean, but I love the fact that you brought up this marchforward.org organization, because there's quite a movement right now where people are really starting to dig into what is law, what is legal, and starting to really realize that, hey, what we think are legal orders are not actually applicable to us, and we can stand these down and win these in courts of law and elsewhere. So I'm seeing a big movement towards that.
And the path has already been forged by individuals like Camila Mejia, Kevin Benderman. There's a number of individuals, Eli Israel at Courage to Resist, for another website out there, couragetoresist.org. But these individuals have forged the path. They went public saying, this is illegal. I did not enlist in the military to go kill innocent people.